A little bit gloomier today. I'm gonna see if this will help. I think these pieces are so wore out that it won't stay up to keep this snout out of the dirt. Yesterday, we dug into some of our bad corn, the corn that's laying flat, and it's every bit, if not worse than what we actually thought. Within about 100 feet, I wrecked one of the snouts on this head. So I replaced that snout with a new one here. I did put the snoot boots, they call them, and the snout savers underneath there from May West. We've got the stuff to go through and add the rest. I just didn't want to take the time in the moment, but here's the wrecked one right here. And for now, we have got an air pipe plugged up back there. That's the reason the dryer's not running. We're gonna go yank that apart, dump the corn out of the elbow, and hopefully get things cleared up again. It's got corn in it way back there, doesn't it?
No.
Oh, it doesn't?
Did you check here?
Well, not with a hammer, but I did with my hand.
There's no corn in there, is there?
Didn't sound like it. That's got... Check the very elbow. Maybe it's not actually put.
I can change the changer, go here and see what happens.
Right. I took that off yesterday, and the belts obviously aren't burned through.
No.
But it was lugging down pretty good. I could smell them.
Maybe it's motor.
That's what I wonder, if it's the motor. So we're gonna switch the exchanger to that open hole there, and then turn the air system on just to make sure everything's moving. That way we can rule out if it may or may not be just the motor itself. Maybe things aren't actually plugged up here. You okay? You all right? Not doing good. Oh, that didn't sound good. Well, fired up, but it clunked. Did it kick out on its own?
It started till I pushed the button again and it didn't go. So I don't know, it should have kept going. I had it in manual.
That seems to be moving okay. You think it might be in that electrical box?
It might be in here, something's not holding it engaged.
Amps there, that was pegged out. And then I'd assume something tripped inside here after that was pegged for a few seconds.
Can it quit by itself then?
It quit by itself. So something had to go in here, I assumed.
Time to get the pipe empty.
I definitely had the dryer. The first thing I did was stop the unload because I didn't want to stop this with the pipe
Yeah.
full. So I was hoping
Yeah.
I'd stop the unload, it would blow itself clear, and it never stopped lugging.
And it probably wasn't packed that full. It blew it clear, but it just...
I'm gonna switch it back to the bin that we were going in at the time and see if it blows through there. I'm a little bit confused here. So I guess we'll figure out how to make sense of it. Okay. Should we start the unload at 5 or 10%?
We gotta hold this is the trouble.
Oh, you gotta hold that button. It
As
doesn't...
I let go of the button, it shuts off. That's why I'm thinking there's something in here that's...
I see. Well, that makes it easier that we don't have to dig a pipe out and take a pipe apart, but...
Easier for us.
Yeah, easier
But
for
it's
us.
not the air system, which we probably couldn't get any if it was.
Right.
Hopefully this we can get.
Should I get a hammer?
But I say call Luke instead of a hammer.
Oh. Kind of. We can't find anything that's not reset. I mean, we did the old push every button you can find.
Jim says it's a doodad in there.
Morning, Zach.
It's the doodad?
Yeah, kind of like the doodad they put in my heart.
They get that in there just fine?
Just fine. Yeah, he said everything went good. So,
Brand new doodad.
yeah,
it's
brand
hard.
new doodad.
I'm sending him up the leg in 10 minutes to see if it's good.
Let's not do that. If he's gonna tip over, don't do it here. There's a pretty high chance of rain this afternoon, and it's already raining everywhere around us. So rather than kind of tinkering around here, we're just gonna get things going. We've still got about 8,000 bushels of room up in the wet bin, plus we could fill the trucks, the grain cart, the pits. We got a second wet bin. We got plenty of room. The dryer is not really our pinch point this year because we don't have the bushels and the volume coming in. The dryer's keeping up. It's drying every bit as fast as what we can harvest right now. Also, to fill you guys in, Jim had little heart surgery yesterday, so he wasn't working yesterday. We didn't ask him to work today. He just doesn't like sitting at home. So he's fine. I don't even know exactly what was done, but we didn't do it here in our own shop. He actually went into a mechanic to have that done. Probably do that. I also just talked to JP. He's gonna run up and grab that other truck, but he was shocked that we wanted him. He said it's raining pretty good at his place. He's only 5 or 6 miles straight south. Well, Dad wants me to wait till he makes a half round because he said the stalks are pretty wet up there. So I'm gonna wait, and Jim and I are gonna snap some of these yellow snoot boots from May West onto here. And that just snaps on an LFM. Oh. That one that I have up there is untarped too, so okay, it's suddenly starting to come down pretty good here, so I'll call JP and stop him. It's a little early to go to the bar too, but I was gonna let you know you could probably turn around. You're just in time, JP. Right. Looks that way. It's a scramble, but it looks like everything's out of the field, because that's good, because these empty trucks, they do not like to get going on the grease. Guy parks down at the end of the driveway and doesn't even ask for a ride. It's like the walk of shame. First it rains, now we got to deal with Todd.
I know, it's terrible. Somebody had to rescue your old man.
Yeah, I guess. Everybody left me now. A little too wet to go harvesting at the moment. If it dries up enough, maybe we'll go this afternoon, but it sounds like there's a bigger chance of rain this afternoon than there just was, so we finished up these snoot boots. Got the dryer moving again. I'm gonna go take Becky to lunch. All right, 48 hours later here. It's just about noon. 2 days later, we ended up with about 1.5 inches of rain, so that kept us out of the fields for a while. I did run the dryer more yesterday, and we did figure out exactly what was happening with that air system. There's a flapper protector doohickey dealio that had wore itself out and fallen off and jumped up behind the blower system and was blocking the pipe. So it was in there. We had to pull some stuff apart, get that flapper out of there. Now she all runs beautifully. But we do have just a couple hours worth of drying yet to go, which is no big deal because we can't combine very fast this year. But I'm gonna get it fired up, and then we're gonna look at getting the combines ready.
Good. Not bad. Yeah. You do have another one?
Yep. I believe they're the same anyway.
Yeah, because the other one.
Now flip the breaker. Need to.
They blew it already.
Again, huh?
Motor's bad.
We got a bin fan that quit running on us. Blew the fuse out. We changed the fuse and it blew it out again, so that means the motor.
They're both good. Let me go try the breaker, see if it goes.
Oh.
Maybe it's the breaker this time.
Maybe. Tripped it out right away both times. It's popping the breaker right away.
It started to go and then the breaker popped again?
It flipped it immediately and then I flipped it again and it flipped back to red instantly.
Okay. Sure, the motor's bad.
Yeah. That bin's got a second fan on it, so we'll just run it with one fan for the rest of today. I don't like that because it's a big bin and we're dumping warm corn in there, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You feeling good?
Pretty good, yeah.
Good enough to run some truck? All right. You could grab a truck now, either of those, and head up to Dale's. You'll have to go around this way. And then I'll grab Onyx and the grain cart and I'll come get you with a pickup. Jim and I figured since we had a few minutes before we had to go catch Dad because he's busy moving the combine that we would put the rest of these snout savers on. I didn't put them on these ones because they're a little bit in the way, or these sensors are in the way. So I've got 2 snouts missing them. That's actually the row sense sensors that we're not using. And as long as we own this head, we never will use because it's a 20-inch header and we got 30-inch rows. So we won't ever use that. I might just pull those off of there when we get a chance and put those other 2 snout saver's on. But not today, not now, because we don't have time. We're gonna go get some corn. Dryer's probably got 30 minutes left of drying, so we need to get a load back here to keep that moving. We're gonna get Onyx in the cart. Anna, are you good? You all right? Okay, she's good. You ready to drive some cart? Yep. Okay, you can park this. I'll meet you over there. I'm gonna untarp it, and then I'll show you where we're headed. You can follow me in the pickup. So this field here, it's always a good field. It's really good dirt, but it got nailed by the same windstorm that a lot of our stuff did. We've got to leave the semi-trucks on the road because the fields are too soft after the rain. Luckily this field, we've got a nice spot where the ditch is pretty level. We can leave the trucks on the road and leave the machinery in the field, so it works out pretty well. Unfortunately, this is the problem we're going to deal with a lot in this field. So what we were having to do the other day before the rain was cut at a pretty steep angle crossways with the roads, which is not how you want to combine corn.
Yeah, geez, these big ass pickups that stand up in the sky.
Cousins always has somebody right in his face.
What's the moisture saying in that field? Should I adjust the dryer? It's got to be real close to being out. We can't hardly have anything left here in the wet bin before the dryer gets caught up. I'm gonna wait until Jim gets back with that first load because they're only 2 miles away, and I'm gonna see what that moisture tests out at here at the site versus the combine. It's better anyway. The last stuff we were in was a lot later maturity hybrid. It was 24, 25%. This stuff's at 19. We had some early stuff we took out that was around 17, 18, but it's not bad. Couple tweaks to the dryer because we got drier corn going in there now, and I'm off. Let's go get some stuff done. I always enjoy listening to the Vikings games in the combine. Maybe not always, but usually. Well, this is what we've got. Very, very flat corn that we're doing our best to pick up. The other day we were going at the exact angle that it's laying, which was really crossways with the row, and we could only combine it one direction. I'm gonna try and go perpendicular to the direction it's laying, which is still crossways with the row. Actually about 30, it is exactly 30 degrees crossways with the row. But I'm hoping then I can turn around and combine back the other direction as well. The danger is that we can't see the snouts at all, and we won't know how close they're running to the ground, and eventually they'll just dig in and fold under and we'll run over them. Which they're made out of plastic. They flex a little. They aren't going to destroy the combine, but then we got to fix them, and it's a problem. I've gone just a few hundred feet here. I'm going to jump out and see what kind of a job it's doing, because obviously we want to pick up as much as what we can. So I'm going to try and figure out how to do that. Look at that disaster. I've rarely had to do this before, usually just in 5-acre pieces, never on entire quarter sections, entire fields. And oddly enough, look at that. It's clean. We're getting it. Now the next test will be, can I come back, go that way on it? And I think I can, as well as it's working. We'll find out. It's just really, it's weird, you know. I've never had whole fields we have to do like this. It's just different. That's why we got this narrow row header, because it cuts crossways better, which is just such a strange, it is what it is. It's working for me, going both directions.
The corner was really down pretty bad.
But it sounds like Dad, he's got the wider header, the 30-inch header. Sounds like it's not working as well for him, which is not surprising. Got Onyx running grain cart today. Seems to be going good. We're actually getting a few acres knocked out here. I think we probably have about 30 acres knocked out. It's been a couple hours, but that's, you know, it's slow going, but we're doing it. It's just different.
I'll make one more behind you, and then I can take the ends off behind the open behind.
That right there is one of the joys of harvesting this stuff. The stuff ends up just kind of breaking and laying crossways on the head, and then nothing feeds in. It just starts pushing everything after it. And I tried getting it off here and going different directions, but it was just too full, so you got to get out and push it on. And it isn't a big deal unless you got to do it every 3 times around, which we've had it that way before. We actually do have a corn reel coming, which is just like on a soybean header, but the reel has paddles, one on each row, coming for that header over there. But we haven't gotten it yet because when the wind came through, they sold a lot of corn reels suddenly, and they were over a month out. So we're kind of still waiting on that, but honestly, we haven't really needed it. It's been going okay. Three generations of the Johnson farm working side by side right here. And even though the circumstances are a little odd, we're getting it done. It's pretty cool. Beautiful sunset. Horrible corn. Well, who do we have here? Little fan club.
Dad, you're gonna carry me!
I'm gonna carry you?
Yeah!
You can't make it through that tall grass?
Yeah!
What do you have there? Bacon wrapped filet mignon? Oh, ham and cheese. Even better.
Onyx and Doritos. I just whipped out like 10,000 sandwiches.
10,000 sandwiches?
Yeah!
I can only eat 7,000 or 8,000 a day.
I made trail mix.
You made trail mix. You should be a chef. It's a best friend bracelet? Who are you gonna get the other ones to then?
Stella, Kenzie, Lydia, and that's it.
Are they all the same color, or are they all different?
They're all different.
Do you want to turn the lights on?
What lights?
The lights for the combine?
Yeah.
Okay, they're up here. This one and that one. Flip them all the way to the top. There we go. Good job.
I don't even leave that.
You don't?
I never ever leave that.
Because your butt's too little.
Hey, Dad.
See you tomorrow, Jim.
Dad.
Yes.
People have to say, their names, like, when Grandpa is talking to you, he has to say, hey, Zach. And when he's talking to Jim, does he have to say, hey, Jim?
Sometimes. See Grandpa over there?
Yeah, he's right there.
He is right there, isn't he? There's your brother.
I twerking to that song.
You were twerking to that song? Well, I had to turn that off due to copyright laws. A lot of people think that it's easy to be a YouTube farmer, but they don't have the experience to understand what it's like to have to turn the radio off every time you need to take a clip with your camera. Sounds like something on the back end of the dryer, whatever drives the airlock, must be wrong, because the airlock itself is not moving. It's not paddling the corn out of the back of the dryer. So the dryer kept pushing until it loaded the discharge chute full, popped the cover open and tripped the sensor so that it shut down, which is good. That's what it's supposed to do. So we don't have much of a mess, but we got a dryer that's been shut down for a couple hours now and tripped out. So something's going on back there. We'll get back there and pull the cover off, see what the deal is.
Hello. Daddy just farted in here.
He did.
The shadow.
Just a shadow? All right, I'll get out first, okay?
Oh.
Ah! Ugh. Thanks for visiting, Isla.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got about 70 acres knocked out in this field between the two machines here, which is pretty good for not starting until probably 1 or 1:30 with the first combine and after 2 with the next one, so not bad. I'm gonna dump what I got in the truck here, and we're gonna go home and see if we can diagnose our issues at the bin site. Good night, harvesting machines.
Hi there.
Hi. You taking a nap, Onyx? So the issue is back here. You can see we got a little bit of corn that spilled out. It came out of this cover. It's got a sensor on it here that trips if something breaks down here, which something is. So we got to pull this cover off and get into here, which is not tight anyway. So I won't need too many tools to lift a cover off that's not bolted down. But I do need both hands. Yeah, okay, so the power runs to here. This gear's running and turning and doing just fine. This chain is supposed to have something to latch onto over on this end. Gotta be a gear laying here somewhere. Well, here's a piece of one. And I don't know which one it is, but one of these two gears takes a very special machine down gear. And this one's on the larger shaft, so I'm quite certain it's this one. I'm also pretty certain that last time this happened, it was on a Sunday, and we had to drive a few hours to get one and have it machined. So we had them make two of them because the thin one breaks because it's not thick enough. Stupid design. That's that dang gear that's reamed out.
Yeah, I wonder why the chain was turning.
Because it was turning on the back and the chain was still on the shaft.
Oh, okay.
So it was just spinning on that front shaft and the gear was gone up front.
Do we have another gear?
I believe this is the reamed out one that we grabbed two of that time. You had to drive down to wherever it was and get them.
I only got one the first time, but then PS Green.
Oh, they brought you.
Two going, but I think we used one.
He's gonna message the bin guys and ask if they've got one around. They're not an easy piece to find. I swear we had one hanging on the pegboard in the shop, but I can't guarantee that we haven't used that one already. It might be in my hand. The one that hung here for a while very well might be the two-piece one that I just carried in. Now I'm pretty confident that we don't have one. We've probably broken more of those than I thought we have. Yeah, it broke right out where the key runs through. I didn't find one.
I didn't think we had one. We used to have a spare and we used it.
This probably is the spare.
That's what I'm thinking.
We got some messages out for the people that need to know. We'll figure something out in the morning. See where we gotta go. For now, I guess I'll just kill the lights and go say goodnight to the kids and go to bed myself. Thanks for watching. You gonna get her? Go get her. Go get her. Ooh, an evening wrestle session.